back. WNST, Towson, Baltimore, and Baltimore Positive. I love when my guests become bow ties because right here underneath of her bow tie is my Baltimore Positive logo. Jill Eisenberg's here. We are at Mama's on the Half Shell, not to be confused with Nacho Mama's, 2 doors down, or the Nacho Mama's in Towson where, I'll be honest, get the Berea quesadilla, go home, just get it. They don't have the Berea down in Canton, but they do have it up in Towson. And they do have a delicious lobster roll here at Mama's on the Half Shell. We're here. It's all presented by the Maryland Lottery. We're letting ourselves play. I've got fresh Betty Boop tickets. Jill, did I give you a Betty Boop ticket?
Not yet.
All right, you're about to get a Betty Boop ticket.
Awesome.
Ticket 002. There you go. So
Thank
Betty
you.
Betty Boop. There. Okay, so Jill is here. She's about to let herself play with the Maryland Lottery and her friends at Goodwill Industries. Appreciate them putting the Crab Cake Tour back out on the road. I've broadcasted into mirrors before, but it's wild because I can see everything. This is quickly becoming one of my favorite places to broadcast because they give me fresh, cold beer, and I'm going to have a beer here. And this is why I did the Crab Cake Tour. It was to come out on Friday afternoons, and I said to my wife when this thing started, I'm going to be able to drink beer. I'm going to meet new friends,
exactly.
Some old friends. We're going to talk about things that I don't even know what I'm talking about because I'm going to learn things. And people are just going to come out of the woodwork. And on the night before when I have a guest cancel or somebody gets sick or somebody can't make it, I'm not going to have to monologue because someone like Jill is going to step up on Facebook and say, I'll come down and promote multiple sclerosis. Let's do this.
Absolutely.
So this whole thing was brought on because of Bill Cole at Cole Roofing and Gordian Energy. He said, you should be telling good stories like your wife, so go do that. Sit in a bar on a Friday and drink Pilsner. So Jill Eisenberg is here. I don't really know Jill well. She just showed up, and Martin Knott's taking a call right now. She's the team captain for Bike MS.
Bike MS for Team Design Connection.
It's really nice to meet you.
You
Fist
too.
bump. I
Thank
got
you.
to get a napkin, but can I get a napkin? Man, everybody, see, people pitch in here at Mama's, man. Betty Boop ticket for you, my friend. All right. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
We're Facebook friends.
We are Facebook friends.
All right. Tell the world how you know me because I just told Martin, I said, I don't know this young lady, but yeah, it's nice to meet you.
Thank you, you too. Thank you for having me.
Well, yes. So you're doing good work. So
Yes.
Tell me about the good work you're doing.
So actually, a long time ago, we met. I was a longtime listener of WNST when I first got into watching football. And we then participated in your March Madness Squares, and we happened to have won, and I came to the radio station, and it was to pick up my prize, which I don't remember what it was, but it was great. And it was such a good time, so I've been a long-time follower. You've given me great restaurant suggestions in the city over COVID. We've been to many different of your suggestions, so that's been lovely.
Where have you been? Give me the places you've actually been.
Amici's has been our favorite.
Well, all
we
right.
have been
Yeah.
to Amici's about 6 times.
I drove by there an hour and a half ago, and I did not stop and get the sauce. And I'm thinking to myself, I could stop on the way home.
Absolutely, absolutely. They have been wonderful. About 7 families ordered from the county, and we picked up for them, and they could not have been happier.
Well,
so
give
that's
Jody my love.
Absolutely.
She knows I love her.
So.
Just lost her kitty cat.
Aw.
So Jill is here to talk about MS, but not even that. So I told my friend, or was it my wife? It was my wife. I told my wife this story a week and a half ago. I'm going to work a little blue. By the way, they asked me what kind of beer I wanted, and I chose this one, and it's low. It's a Dundalk brewery, okay? I don't really know the folks at Key Brewing. I'd like to know them if you hear this or see this, but the beer's called Positive Mental Attitude,
Perfect
right?
for you.
And I hadn't had it yet, and my son gave me one. I think he found it down at Drug City. And there's one of these in my fridge, and I hadn't had it. And I saw it there. I saw the can, and I didn't even realize it was Key Brewing right out of Dundalk.
Mm-hmm.
Positive Mental Attitude. Is there any beer that should be sponsored more for this program than this? So this is my first beer. It's a Pils, delicious. It's a little hoppy, but delicious. So the reason I did this was that people like you would come out and come give me some great story today and make me cry. So let's do it. Why are you involved?
So I've been involved since 2005, and I had no direct connection to MS. It started as friends saying, come do this bike ride. You can ride 100 miles one day and 50 the next. And that was 18 years ago. And that same night, there was a woman that stood up at a candle lighting And she doesn't look any older than me, and she's like, I have MS. And at that point, that many years ago, I really didn't know anything about MS. And I'm like, she doesn't look any older than me, says, I'm taking my kids to school one day, and I couldn't see. I had to pull over. So it kind of just set something off on me, and I found out more about MS. The next year, I went back and thought, I'm going to raise $1,000 and get this cool MS jersey and become a top crab, because that's what we are when you raise $1,000 or more at Bike MS. Then the years went on, and probably about 10 years ago, I met a gentleman named Michael Tomlin. Not Michael Tomlin, but Michael Tomlin. And he was living with MS, riding alone.
The other Mike Tomlin.
The other Mike Tomlin. He was living with MS, riding alone.
Is Mike still with us? The Mike Tomlin you know.
Mike Tomlin is still with us.
And he has MS.
He has MS.
Okay, go ahead. I want to make sure we're okay.
Yes, he's told me basically his story, rode we stayed together for about 10 miles. We finished, and he said, I rode the longest I've ever ridden because you stayed with me. That was it. That was my breakthrough MS moment, which is something we say in the society. And my fundraising from that day on exploded. I've raised personally over $120,000 for MS.
She made notes and brought them. And I said, am I going to be able to read your handwriting? She's like, no, I printed them out for you. and listen, if there's one tenet of this show, that if you listen at all, you know I don't read the notes. So Moeller sends me these notes. Sometimes I do. But, I don't ever really take them seriously.
Right.
He tries to write me a treatment. What we're going to talk about in what order. And I'm like,
no, it's going to go all over the place.
Have you listened to the show? What's wrong with you? So my sister-in-law has MS.
Okay.
She has relapsing remitting. So my wife is sending me all the information. Can you
Absolutely.
speak to what? So my sister-in-law has some fatigue issues.
Yep.
My wife's up helping her right now, hanging out with her, and they're baking this weekend.
Good. Tell her to keep moving.
They
movement,
learned
movement,
how to make cream puffs last week. But the big thing was they did this thing back at Christmas, and my wife learned how to make pie crust.
Awesome.
So she came home, and now she's a pie crust. And I was going to get Rodney over here from Dangerous.
Right.
I was going to get Hot Rod over here and talk about making some pies and whatnot. So, this is something that cuts near and dear to me.
Absolutely. So relapsing remitting, she doesn't have. That's good. I mean, that's you're in the middle.
On the tree.
and she's probably on treatment that's hopefully
very
helping
much
her.
so. But she had needles as big as you and me at one point.
So when I first started in 2000,
I saw the needles, and I'm like,
needles are ridiculous.
My wife is diabetic, right? So the night I met my wife, I caught her. She didn't want to tell me she was diabetic.
Right.
I caught her giving herself needles, and it's like the most heroic thing I've ever seen. Just watching my wife do this every day. But then I'm watching this MS, and it's. My wife's had leukemia twice,
right.
and I've just been an observer, to all of this, right? But watching people battle these diseases, it's the most inspiring thing in the world.
It is the most inspiring thing in the world. So when I started in 2005, there were 4 therapies. There are now 24 therapies, and which has been amazing. So to me, from
research,
and we live here. Hopkins, University of Maryland, we live here. We have one of the best MS research centers right here at Johns Hopkins.
So you don't work for MS in
I
any
do
way?
not. I have no direct connection.
What's your real life?
I'm a graphic designer.
I need help.
Well,
Let's
I'll
go.
help you. Absolutely. So, this is my fun life, I say. This is my life that makes my heart happy. Although I like being a graphic designer, but this makes my heart happy. I became a board member 3 years ago, and I sit on the National MS Society local chapter board. It's been amazing. I have a huge Bike MS team that has raised over $600,000.
Does this mean I have to get on a bike?
Absolutely.
No,
actually, you could do Walk MS. So Walk MS is I
do a lot of walking.
Okay. Well, Walk MS, we have all these teams.
You can drink while you do it.
You can drink while you do it. You can actually drink after bike too, but that's a whole different story.
I don't mean beer. I just mean you can just hang out.
So Walk MS is coming up in Baltimore. I actually don't remember the date off the top of my head.
But we got it. It's April 9th. It's
April
right
9th,
yeah,
and it's here. And then I do have a website for you guys if you need it. And Walk MS is usually the first introduction that people living with MS have to the society. Because there's no registration fee, there's no fundraising minimum. You can go out, you see what it's doing in the community. There's a walk for everyone.
There's a walk Towson April 2nd.
And I will be there. I will absolutely be there at Walk Towson. It's at Goucher College.
You know, when I say Baltimore Positive, I say Towson, Baltimore.
Well, you have to do that now.
Yes.
So, yes, I have also been very involved in Walk. More on the bike side, but absolutely support the bike at any cost.
Yeah, I'm
going to
move the camera down a little bit for you
Okay.
because, like, you were like, you were worried because you're short.
Yes.
You're shorter than me, and I'm short. But I don't like sitting. I like standing because
We'll
it just
see
makes.
it. Yes.
I'm getting old, man. That's what I mean about biking. I mean, I'm just sitting here hanging out.
Well, there's bike
I'm trying
riders-
to have a positive mental attitude. Is what I'm trying to do here.
There's bike riders of all ages and all abilities. We have a 30, a 60, and a 100 on the Eastern Shore. So anybody's welcome, and it's flat. So, we can't.
Keep promoting. 'Cause
Absolutely.
I was going to tell you a story, but keep promoting.
Okay. So just so everybody knows, the National MS Society is the largest gathering of multiple sclerosis movement that raises the most amount of funds in the United States, and there are over 1 million people in the United States living with MS. So we definitely, have lots of work to do, but we're getting closer, and the research is amazing, and it's incredible. I'm so happy to be a part of an organization that I know is making a difference.
Well, I'm glad you came down.
Yeah, thank you.
You ever had a crab cake here?
I don't. I've had a lot of oysters here.
Oh, oysters your thing?
Yeah.
I almost had oysters for lunch. I was so hankering a lobster roll, and I was in New York last week, and I was just, like, in the mood, and I was, like, going to go out in New York and get a lobster roll, and I didn't, and I wound up getting pizza.
Lobster in New York?
No, I just was in the mood.
Okay.
That's what I wanted to eat.
Yeah.
I'm in New York. You can get anything you want in New
Right.
York, right? So I got pizza. Delicious.
Yeah.
I got some Asian food. I got some wings. I had some dumplings, and then I had some Korean shave ice.
Yum.
But you wouldn't get a crab cake in New York. I would say
No,
that.
absolutely.
But I just didn't. I didn't get it. So I've been hankering this lobster roll thing, and I walked in here, and I'm going to get a crab cake before I leave in the last segment because Jen's going to make me have one here. Jen from Not Your Mom is not my wife, Jen.
Okay.
The other Jen. So I'm going to do that, and I just walked in and I saw the whole menu, but the grilled oysters were talking to me, but I was really hungry, like I hadn't had breakfast. So I went with the lobster roll, and I had some spinach that's still stuck in my teeth.
Well, we can't see it, so it's okay.
Well, I used to be on radio and nobody could see anything, and now, I do my hair. I don't do my hair. I don't do my hair. Jill Eisenberg's here. She's a team captain for Bike MS and doing good stuff. And, I throw these segments out. If you happen to see this out there, hear this out on AM 1570 or anywhere in our podcast or our world, throw me a note. We're doing the Maryland Crab Cake Tour really to drink beer with friends on Fridays and on weekends and tell good stories. And we have a number of politicians and friends and local business owners. Martin Knott's taking some significant call. And one of the reasons I do this 2 to 5 on Fridays is because I know places are going to be a little more empty and I'm not going to be disruptive.
Right.
Because I'm disruptive. I mean, in general. I'm disruptive. But we're giving away Betty Boop scratch-offs from the Maryland Lottery. Also, our friends at Goodwill Industries, I want to give a shout-out to Lisa and Jonathan for sponsoring what we're doing. But really, this was started. Bill Cole hit me after my wife had leukemia and said, you should be telling more stories like this. And
I think
so,
it's a great idea.
So this, and I said, it'll just happen naturally. Some listener will be doing something nice. And so in regard to this, I've had many, many friends in my life that have contracted all sorts of things above and beyond my wife's leukemia. But I can't talk about Frank, but I had a special person who we lost to MS. And it's just, it was devastating.
It is. It's hard. It's hard to.
Still is.
It's still very hard, and it always will be. There is a gentleman for many years that sat at our finish line on the Eastern Shore. Living with MS, was a football player, was always active, and literally it just, each year you'd say, is Gordon here? Is Gordon here? And you would see him go from a walker to a wheelchair.
We get familiar with ALS as well, but even O.J. Brigance.
So actually the MS Society has honored O.J. Brigance because a lot of the research is...
Michael J. Fox.
A lot of the research goes, hand in hand.
Parkinson's with him, right?
Exactly. So a lot of the research goes hand in hand. So we did honor O.J. Brigance a few years ago. So there is a lot, and again, the MS Society, we have such amazing resources here.
Right.
And that alone is amazing. So, yep, always happy to talk about MS, always promoting.
All right, Towson, April 2nd, Baltimore, April 9th. Frederick's beautiful, by the way.
Absolutely.
So we're doing the Crab Cake Tour again in August to go back out all over the state. We're going to go to the places that Like, everybody knows how cool Ocean City is. You don't have to sell Ocean City.
You should absolutely go to
Somebody
Frederick.
needs to pimp Hagerstown. Frederick, Oakland,
Frederick
these places.
is beautiful.
Cumberland.
I mean, yeah. And the Towson Walk, actually, I just heard in the last few days, the Towson Walk is
You ever been to Cumberland?
Yes, I have been to Cumberland.
All right, because that's
Deep Creek Lake is Cumberland.
No,
correct?
past Deep Creek Lake's way past Cumberland.
Okay.
That means you went through Cumberland.
Okay.
Cumberland's a cute little town you drive through with the
yes.
cliffs.
Yes,
when you're on the way to. So we did all these places now, and I mean, I would have been embarrassed to sit here last year and say, yeah, I went to Frederick for a Keys game back in '89, you know, and it's not even Frederick; it's like the end of the ball field.
Right.
Yeah, right. But I actually took the Goodyear blimp. Start talking about Frank Vanek, and I'm wrecked. Frank, God.
Sorry.
Well, Julie,
but that's okay. We'll just keep talking about his memory and his honor.
Julie's out there laughing at me right now, so it's fine. Frank's laughing. So, Frederick, I had seen from above in the Goodyear blimp.
Yes.
About 4 years ago, I got invited to do that. Thanks, Doug. And so I got to see it, and I'm like, man, I'm going to drive down there. And then Hagerstown, we spent the evening in downtown Hagerstown, had a lovely German meal. So we're going to go back to all these places and do these things again. So I would encourage you that you look down and you say, well, Ocean City looks sexy. I'll do that. Try Cumberland.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I have a fundraising partner named David, and he lives in Frederick. So we bounce back and forth.
I'm
from
going
our
back
events.
to downtown Frederick,
well,
and
I'm sending him your way. I wanted him to come today, and he said no.
My wife and I bought this pasta in a pasta shop there. It was this black pepper linguine.
Oh, it's probably amazing.
It was Gucci, man. It was so good. God, I got to go back. That's
absolutely.
We're going back to Frederick.
Cute little town.
All right, tell me the best place to find everything you're doing. Jill Eisenberg is here. We're at Mama's on the Half Shell. We're talking about the MS and the National MS Society.
The best place to find any information about the National MS Society is nationalmssociety.org. The best place to get involved is nationalmssociety.org /get involved. If you want to reach out to me, I'm actually jill.eisenberg@gmail.com, and I'm happy to answer any questions. I'm always available. You can find me on Facebook. I have a very strong presence for the MS community there as well.
I'm sorry I couldn't talk more about Frank.
You could talk about Frank all the time.
Yeah,
I wonder
but
if I ever met Frank.
Well, we lost Frank, almost a decade ago.
Okay, so maybe my earlier.
Yeah. You know what made me think of Frank the other night? And this is something I want you to do as homework for you. Michael Vick had a lot of problems with, dogs.
Yes.
Obviously went to jail. You're a sports fan. You know
Yes.
this. Nobody feels good about that. He came back here to do Ed Block after his problems when he was playing in Philadelphia trying to resurrect his career. He wound up playing in Pittsburgh after that. And Frank was a Virginia Tech Hokie.
Okay. Orange.
Yeah. So Michael Vick played at Virginia Tech. So I took Frank out because he wanted to meet Michael Vick.
Okay.
And it was at the end of Frank's life. And Michael Vick could not have been kinder to Frank. And I video captured it. And Frank beamed. Frank had a whole Virginia Tech blanket on him at the end. Because Frank went from Canadian crutches to a wheelchair to dancing with everybody at our 15-year reunion. It's all that, right?
Right, absolutely.
To the gurney. Right, to his parents really at the end of their lives carting this 1,000-pound device to bring him out to sit with me at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Exactly. Absolutely. Yep.
So,
no, but we're making good strides. So think that all this positive stuff that we are doing, so that someone else doesn't have to live that way. That, like your sister-in-law, we're gonna keep doing what we do to raise the money and the awareness, so that you don't have to be sad about Frank.
Well, you know what? I feel like a jerk because I was at a party. It was a very good party, I might add. I was in L.A. At the Super Bowl, and I wound up in Beverly Hills at this party. There's a lot of Terps people there. It was a Terp-oriented party. I'm going to have Marissa Coleman on, I think next week, March Madness time, she's former Terp, to talk about it. And so there were celebrities there and whatnot, but I was in a conversation like right here, and I turned, and Michael Vick was right there. And he was like talking to somebody, and he's not as big as you. He's a smaller guy than you think, Not like Joe Flacco. He's, maybe 6'1", but maybe not. Maybe 5'11" and 3/4. And I turned, and I'm like, oh, it's Michael Vick. And the first thing I think of is Frank. And I was going to tell him, and I was going to bug him, and then I lost sight of him, and then I never saw him again.
Well, you know what? When I ride on the Eastern Shore in June, I'm going to keep Frank in my thoughts, because that'll help me keep going. And your sister-in-law, what's your sister-in-law's name?
Jessica.
Okay, well, today I brought presents for Jessica and Jen and you. I brought some MS bracelets, so I will
Disco.
hand them off to you.
You got it.
Wait, yes.
All right, positive mental attitude. I'm not here to
Absolutely.
promote Key Beer, where balance is the craft, but I am going to promote that. And
I think I'm going to
get
buy
a
that.
tissue because I'm a mess. Positive mental attitude, a little hoppy, Pils Lager, but it's got a great name, So we have a positive mental attitude. We're at Mama's on the Half Shell, where they've already given me margaritas for the road. I have not had a crab cake yet, but I did have a delicious lobster roll. We have Betty Boop giveaway scratch-offs. Did you win? Did you scratch it?
Not yet. I'll scratch it later.
All right.
And I'll let you know if I win, and then we'll donate part of it.
Hey, I gave you 2.
I know.
Well, blue and pink. All right. That's one for you and one for your. Who's your pal that helps
David
you? With?
Ramis.
David. All right, one for Dave. There you
Yes,
go. Jill
absolutely.
Eisenberg here talking about MS. Get out,
Thank
support
you guys.
them. Making me cry in the middle of a bar in the middle of the afternoon.
I
This
didn't
show's
mean
gonna
to.
kill me.
Usually it's me that cries, so I did pretty good.
This show's going to kill me today. Martin Knott's around here someplace. They're feeding me beer. They're going to bring me bouillabaisse and other things. I said what I want to do is order the fried seafood platter. Little fish, little this, little that. She's like, well, the crab balls are different because we fry them. It's not like jumbo lump. And I'm like, all right, I'll get the crab cake. It's the crab cake tour.
It's the crab cake tour.
I am Nestor. We are WNST, AM 1570 Towson, Baltimore. We never stop talking. Baltimore positive down here in Canton on the square. And at some point I'll think of Scunny. I'll start